Hey, welcome to the Inkahustler podcast show. Bienvenidos. It's a podcast where we talk about life, culture, religion, food, politicians, travel, and more travel. Yes, it's a bilingual channel. Sí, hablamos español. And we're gonna start in less than 5 seconds. So, I'll see you guys there. See you, amigos. Hello everybody. Today we have a special guest. Hola amigos. El día de hoy tenemos un guest especial el día de hoy. El día de hoy voy a hablar en 2 idiomas. Vamos a hablar, yo sé que el programa generalmente comienza en español, pero también lo vamos a hacer en español y también en inglés. El día de hoy tenemos como invitada a una amiga viajera. Se llama Spice Dutra, es una amiga muy viajera que ha andado por el mundo, ha estado en Sudamérica, ha estado en todos los lugares y vamos a hacer unas preguntas en español también como en inglés. Discúlpenme si es que hablo en español, pero mi invitada habla el inglés, así que también es bueno para que ustedes puedan ejercitar su inglés. As I was saying, today we have a special guest. She's from the States. Actually, she's from New York City, and she'll be with me. She's been recently in Europe, and actually recently she's been in South America. So today we're going to hear about her experience as a traveler, as a solo female traveler. You know, her name is actually Spice. She likes to be called as Spice Dutra, and then I'm sure we're gonna have fun in this interview, and let's have her with us. Let's see where she at. Let's see, she's here right now, so she's on the stage now. Okay, welcome, Spice Dutra.
Hello, up? How you doing? Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, what's up? How's everything?
Doing well, just a little bit jet lag.
Jet lag.
Yeah.
What are you?
Well, I'm in New York City right now, but I just came back from Europe, so a little bit tired.
Oh, I see. I'm gonna do the translation real quick. Está en Nueva York ahora mismo y está nuestra amiga está en Nueva York y está un poquito con el jet lag, un poquito. So tell me about yourself.
What do you want to know?
You tell me about yourself, what you do, and tell me how you know why you like traveling so much. Because I see you on your Instagram, you be traveling everywhere though.
Well, I'm in law enforcement. I've been doing that for about 5 years now. Traveling came about, I think my first actual real travel was about 8-9 years ago. I was bored and I wanted to go away and do some volunteer work. So I started in Kenya, Africa, and I went to Nepal, Asia. So after my first 2 traveling experiences in Nepal and Kenya, I just got the liking and the loving for traveling. So now it's kind of an addiction or something to do.
I see. So once you went to, you said Nepal.
Yeah.
Right. And then, where you said again? You were Nepal and
Kenya.
In Kenya, which is in Africa.
Correct.
Tell me how your experience there as an American going to Kenya and Nepal. Tell me the differences in there. What you see that is different. I mean, I know you see a lot of difference in there since it's Kenya, but tell me about it. Tell me about Kenya a little bit.
Okay, so like I said, it was one of my first traveling experiences. So at that particular time, I got in touch with an organization that introduced me to like a Kenyan family, a volunteer organization. So when I went there, I wasn't totally alone. I had people to pick me from the airport and shuttle me into like a volunteer home. And then I started my volunteer there. So the Kenyan family, they were like very nice. They took me around like major parts of the city. And then the volunteer organization that I volunteered with, they took me around. So, you know, I had a great time. The experience was to volunteer with like children that were basically in America we'll say foster care, but there in Kenya they call it like orphanages. Like
Mm-hmm.
some of them they lost their parents due to a fight outbreak at the time in Kenya, Nairobi. And my job was to go there and teach them English, and that's how that started. So I had a great an amazing time.
Wow, wow, such a cool experience to Kenya.
Yes.
Wow. It was the same in Nepal?
It was the same, but it was a little bit different because like that was my first time like going to an Asian country. The languages were different. I monolingual, only speak English, and I don't remember the language that they spoke there, but they're the people.
Nepali, yeah.
Yeah, Nepali. The people that I live with, they spoke English and they also
Yeah,
spoke Nepali, but the surrounding areas and the neighborhood they did not. But they were very friendly, very welcoming.
yeah.
And like I said, I didn't know much about traveling. I didn't do my research. So with me, I went there and I started wearing like short clothes. That was frowned upon because it's a very religious country. So I learned my lesson there.
Mm-hmm.
Next time going forward, you have to research the country before you visit because people are different, cultures are
Yeah,
different.
it's true.
And it was the same in Kenya. So I had like an experience there where they thought like I was Kenyan because of the color of my skin. So one time I went into Mahimahu. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a little village, and I had on like a shorts, and I was with one of my friends that I met there. She's from Japan. We became close, like volunteering in the organization, and we started dancing, like twerking, and the people they like I said they thought I was Kenyan, so they wanted to stone me. So the police had to get involved. But like I said, that
Oh
was like
my God, are you serious? They tried to stone you?
yes.
What?
Yes, because they were Muslim and it was like they thought I was like this tramp, like you come into the country, you trying to steal a man.
All those
But like
bad
I said,
habits. Bringing those
yeah,
bad habits.
but like I said, like I don't know much about the country or the culture because I failed to do my research. It was one of my first travels, but I learned from that. So going forward,
Mhm.
that's what I do. I research the countries, their customs, their courtesies, and never made that mistake again.
That's a good lesson, though. That's a good
Yes.
lesson. Do the research. Let me do a translation real quick. Mm. Bueno, nuestras invitadas estuvo en Nepal y estuvo en Kenia. Una de las cosas graciosas que le pasó es que trató de bailar un baile americano y de ahí le querían tirar piedras, le querían tirar muchas piedras a ella, les querían tirar piedras, agredir, porque según dicho son musulmanes, los de Kenia, y es por eso que ella estuvo en el riesgo, estuvo a riesgo en que le hicieran daño y la policía, the police was involved, right?
Yes, the police
Yeah,
was involved.
yeah, the police was involved, and la policía estuvo envolvida para que la podían defender de todo esto, ¿no? Una experiencia muy, muy buena. Pero la lección de eso, la lección es que ella dice que antes de ir a un país tú tienes de hacer un research, saber del país a donde tú vas, ¿no? Porque ella fue inocentemente a un país y eso fue lo que pasó. Well, um, so like I said, you mean how long ago was that exactly when you went to Kenya and Nepal?
That was about 8, 9 years ago.
8, 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Definitely was a great experience. And after that, where you go?
I think Dubai, and then I went to Mexico, and after that, I just kept on traveling. I don't quite have the order.
Yeah, you don't keep track of that, right? Since you've been in
No.
so many places anymore. Yeah, I understand. Question though, um, which country um, so far that you've been to? Because you rate countries rather than seeing on your stories and
Okay.
Instagram stories that you post. Which country exactly? Uh, I know all the countries has some pros and cons in every
Right.
country. Which country will you put in the first place, and which country will you put probably in the second place? Do you have a top five? Can you tell me about your top five countries?
Oh
Okay,
my
give me a top
God.
10 because I don't want to be like, give me top 10.
So, I get this question a lot, and I
Yeah,
try not to answer that because actually I don't really know. But I always say
Mm-hmm.
my number one country that I will always go back to and always travel to would be Mexico. It would be it's
Gotcha.
my favorite place to travel.
Mm-hmm.
So, but not to say it's a perfect country, no, but of all the amenities that it offers, then that would be my always be my go-to country.
Yeah. Plus, it's close to as well. So Mexico's right next door. It's a quick flight.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah. What other country in your top 5 would you give them?
Um, of course, I'm Jamaican, so Jamaica definitely have to be in top five.
Got it.
I was born there, I was raised there, I have
Gotcha.
family there, so the vibe is always great, so I
Mm-hmm.
can't tune out my country. So Jamaica is definitely top five.
Can you tell us about Jamaica?
Um,
So, like, tell me how was because since I think you grew up there when you were young, right? Young.
yes,
So tell
correct.
me about it. Like, how was it back in the day? Probably in the 90s, right?
Yes.
No.
Um, how was it? So, like we have like a school system, like we have to wear uniform. It's very structured, very strict.
So you got to
They
wear a uniform there in
yeah, we do have
Jamaica.
to wear uniform. Yep, absolutely.
Wow.
Very structured, very strict. I don't know what happened to me, but I think Jamaica's school system is so advanced than American school system. um what is it, we're very like cultured people,
Yeah.
like for the most part we go to church. On Sunday is when we have like our big feast. We come together as a family, sit around a table. We have like what you call like Sunday dinner.
Mm-hmm.
In the mornings before we go to school, we have to eat a hot breakfast. um we drink tea, and like teachers, they're able to whip us in school. So if you misbehave, whipping is a part of that culture as well. And
Oh.
then yeah, if you go to school and get whipping and you go home and your mama, your dad finds out that you've been whipped in school, then they give you extra whipping.
Wow.
um yeah.
So
uh,
you guys have the tea time, the same as England. So obviously, I guess you guys obviously you got influence from England. Yeah.
yes, exactly. They're
Yeah.
very, they're ruled
And
by
you
the
guys got
British.
to wear uniform, which is
Yes,
interesting. It was definitely more strict, you think, than the U.S. Because you also went to school in the U.S. It's more
yes.
strict in Jamaica than in the States, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very, very strict. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's like I said, it's very disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
And for in me, in my humble opinion, I feel like the school system is way more advanced. Like kids are smarter. Like I said, I don't know what happened to me, but the kids are
No,
smarter
don't say that. You're smart. Come on.
there. I'm just kidding.
Let me
Yeah.
translate this thing real quick. Le pregunté a mi amiga quién puso los países en el top 5 y me dijo uno de ellos es México y también lo puso a Jamaica porque Jamaica es el lugar donde creció de niña. Entonces, Jamaica dice que es un poquito más estricto que los Estados Unidos porque Jamaica tiene un sistema de colegio, de las escuelas, son un poquito más estrictas al nivel del estadounidense, ya que ella también fue a la escuela en Estados Unidos y en Jamaica también. Tell me, what you miss about Jamaica? What you miss about when you're in the States? What you miss about probably the family and what else? Probably one thing, probably a lake that you used to go by. I mean,
Yeah, there's not one particular place that I miss,
mm-hmm.
but as we Americans will call it, is the vibes. I love the vibes,
Got
like
it.
just being in that atmosphere, able
Mm-hmm.
to hang out with your family. They speak your language. Um, you go to parties, you go out. Like there's nothing, that could beat that. So that's the one thing that I miss and I enjoy. So I try to go back like every year, but I haven't been back since the pandemic. And I know right now they have like a curfew. At first it was like 7 p.m. and now it's
Mm-hmm.
10 p.m. And I feel like going back would be like such a waste of time right now because you won't get that vibes like being out in the street partying at 2 o'clock in the morning and people from all over the world are there like enjoying your culture. You can't beat that. Like I took my friends, they from Japan, and I took them there, and we were out in the street like partying, like 1 o'clock in the
Well,
morning.
you took a Japanese to
Two
Jamaica.
Japanese, yeah,
Wow.
and like I said, Jamaican, they're so welcoming, they're so friendly. So once you go to Jamaica, you're part of that culture. and they were there having a great time, like in the middle of the street, like partying. And we were teaching them the cultural dance, and they were just like having fun. Jamaicans were just cheering them on. So I miss that. And I don't feel like there's nowhere in the world I could go and get that kind of vibes. Maybe because, I was born there and I was raised there, and those are my people. So
Yeah, definitely. I need to check Jamaica. I haven't been in Jamaica yet. I
oh
haven't been there. Definitely. Probably the next trip will be with you. Definitely
yeah.
will be my tour guide around Jamaica.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah. So tell me about it. You've been in. I want you to talk about because you've been recently too in South America and also Africa, right? Because I'm seeing some pictures of you on Instagram that you've been to South Africa and probably some other countries around Africa.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, so besides Kenya, which country do you think that was you were impacted, or tell me about it, like more about the continent of Africa that you've been to?
So I went to South Africa in April. Well,
Yeah,
we're in a new year, so last year April
yeah.
I was in South Africa, and then I spent like a couple of days in Ethiopia. And for me,
Mm,
like being in Ethiopia, it was like so mind blowing. Just because if you, like I said, you haven't been to Jamaica, but Jamaica is a very Rastafarian culture.
mm-hmm.
Rastafari where we
I
now
heard it. Yeah.
here. Yeah, so it's like a religion. Bob Marley was Rastafarian. So they took like all their teachings when it comes to Rastafaria from Ethiopia. So
Oh
for me,
wow.
yeah, exactly. So El Selassie, he was like that member of the royal empire, and a lot of Rastafarians from Jamaica, they looked up to El Selassie from Ethiopia. And I remember one time when he visited Jamaica. Well, I wasn't alive at that moment, but they showed clips of when he came to Jamaica, and I was like so in awe, and I was like, oh my God, one day I must go to Ethiopia. And then when I got there, like last April, it was just
Mm-hmm.
like so mind blowing. Like, oh my God, Bob Marley, this great reggae artist from Jamaica, he looked up to Selassie from Ethiopia. And
Ethiopia.
oh
Yeah,
my,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. And I'm
yeah.
walking on the same ground as Selassie. And it was just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. This was always been a goal of mine, and I'm here. And the people, they were so nice and like so friendly, and the food was amazing. And of course I got them to do the Usain Bolt sign. So that's kind of my signature everywhere in the world I go.
that's that's really interesting. Really, really interesting. I didn't know your um part of your family was Rastafari,
Yeah.
and also additionally that you went to Ethiopia. And I have actually Ethiopian friends, and Ethiopian food is really, really good as well.
Right.
Um, and definitely, I didn't know about it. The culture of Rastafarian is a lot similar to, and they look up after the Ethiopians,
Mm-hmm.
which
Correct.
is really, really, really interesting. That's a good that's a great fact.
Mhm.
Definitely. Let me just translate this real quick on that.
Okay.
Um, le pregunté también sobre un poquito de Jamaica. Le dije que ella extrañaba de Jamaica. Me dijo que extrañaba de Jamaica algunas cositas, como por ejemplo la vibra que hay en la vibe que hay en Jamaica. Extrañaba eso ella de Jamaica. Y también me decía que su familia de la cultura Rastafari, y esa cultura se asemeja mucho a la cultura de Etiopía, que los Rastafari se asimilan mucho a la cultura de Etiopía, y es muy, muy interesante eso que me ha llamado, es un hecho muy, muy interesante, que definitivamente lo voy a apuntar. Rastafari, I'm going to write it down, what you told me, which is really, really interesting. Every time that I interview people, um, I make sure to write those themes, because like
Mm-hmm.
that's really interesting, which I didn't know, and I didn't know about it. The Rastafari, they look up after the Ethiopians, all the
Mm-hmm.
teachings probably, the culture probably is similar.
Yep.
Wow. So, how's South Africa? How was it?
Well, hmm. It was great overall. I did
Mm-hmm.
have like one bad experience, but the reason why I love South Africa so much is because of Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
Madiba. I'm a
Hmm.
big fan of Nelson Mandela. And the biggest part for me was going to, it was like a resort where he stayed and he wrote his autobiography. And that resort is called a Saxon, the Saxon. And
Hmm.
Jay-Z, he name dropped that in a song. Like
Wow.
Jay-Z and Beyonce, they were at the Saxon, like Nelson Mandela. And to actually go there and walk in the same grounds as Jay-Z and Beyonce and Nelson Mandela,
Yeah.
I felt like that was so amazing, so uplifting. So and
Wow.
it yeah, so that was my takeaway from there. And I also visited Nelson Mandela's house. You know, Nelson Mandela, he's from Soweto. Soweto. It's his homeland. And what I learned is that he lived down the block from Desmond Tutu, the archbishop that recently passed away.
Hmm.
So I didn't get the opportunity to tour Tutu's house, but I had the opportunity to visit Nelson Mandela's house and just to
Hmm.
walk around and walk in the same grounds as him and his children and his wife. It was just like so amazing. And I really enjoyed my time. Like, oh my God, this great leader from South Africa, well known around the world. I was actually in his house.
You were
Amazing.
actually in his house.
Yes,
Wow.
the house that his kids grew up in, where his wife lived, and where he lived prior to him getting arrested. So I was actually in there. And one of the biggest takeaway from his house that I learned was like Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar
He
Ray. Yeah.
Yeah, he won the boxing match and he
Boxer.
got the belt and he gave it to Nelson Mandela as a gift. So I you couldn't touch those things because, you know, of course,
Wow.
you know, but they were like showcase. And of course I got pictures and videos of those. And I felt like that was like so amazing. Like, look, this world leader that I admire, I'm in his house. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Always. Yeah. Yeah. You feel like I'm here. Like.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Felt his
Yeah.
presence.
Definitely.
And I learned a lot as well about Soweto, the war that took place and displaced, you know, African families.
Yeah.
Um, how Nelson Mandela, he fought hard, you know, to get justice and to get
Yeah.
equality.
Because he was in prison. Yeah. And then
Yeah, for
yeah.
about 27 years.
Yeah.
So
27 years. Yeah.
exactly. So I just felt like my friends will call me resilient all the time. I'm like, no, Nelson Mandela was resilient. 27 years in prison, never gave up hope, always fought and came home and still did great things for his country and became the president.
Yeah. That's really interesting, though.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. And then one fact is that Sugar Ray, right, gave
Yeah.
his gloves to Mandela.
The belt, the
The
boxing belt.
belt. I mean, sorry,
It's
the
okay.
belt. Yeah,
Yes.
that's really interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
So you, as an American, traveling to Africa, which is such a different continent, and
Hmm.
and then and then you see, obviously, there's a big difference between America and Africa and all those countries. Because I know first of all, South Africa is a developed country. It's not like a third world country. It's not at
Hmm.
all. Um, Kenya is in the process to be a first world country, but still in the developments as well. Um, when you travel to those countries, right, and you go there as an American passport over there, do you think they treat you different as an American, or they treat you as a regular tourist? Because especially if you're a female traveler, you know, do you see some differences or not at all?
Okay, so what I would like to point out is that
Yeah.
Africa is not a poor continent. It is the
Yeah.
richest
Hmm.
continent in the world, but we
Hmm.
have the poorest people in
Hmm.
the world. So, but when a lot of people there, they're oppressed, given
Yeah.
the history. But when I do go and visit these countries, in Africa, yes, they do treat you different, of course. And you do hear stories that, you have to be careful. I think I was in Dubai and I was leaving from Dubai to go to South Africa, and
Yeah.
then I met like a companion that I was talking to at the airport. He was like, South Africa, why you want to go there by yourself? Especially Johannesburg, it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
And actually, it is dangerous. Some parts, not all parts, because where I
Mm-hmm.
stayed, I stayed in like a very great area, but I also wandered out, and I drove over the Nelson Mandela Bridge, and once you got over the bridge in that area, it was very dangerous. It's like, for lack of better words, it was like less privileged people there. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, I got robbed while I was there.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I got my bag stolen with my passport, credit cards, my phone. So that was a very scary time for me, which it doesn't take away from South Africa. It doesn't take away from Africa. I'm sure this could happen anywhere because, being in New York, people get robbed every day. Being in LA, people get robbed every day. But it was my negligence stopping off in such an area to take a phone call,
Yeah.
and this happened to me at gunpoint. So that was like one of the scariest experience. And in addition to that, I rented a vehicle. So I was traveling by myself. It was like after dark. I don't remember what time was it exactly, but it was dark outside. Let's say between 7 to 9 p.m. I pulled, like I said, it was my last day in South Africa, and I wanted to go take a video over the Nelson Mandela Bridge.
Yeah.
So as I was going over the bridge, my family called me to do a video session, family talk. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just pull over and have the conversation and circle back around to go over the bridge. So as I pulled over after crossing the bridge, I looked at the area and my mind was like, this place is a little bit sketchy, but nobody was bothering me or begging me for money or coming up to the car. So I
Mm-hmm.
was there for like 10 to 15 minutes. Then two men approached me from the driver's side, and they knock on the window. Because as you know, we drive on the right side in Africa. And they wave like a weapon, like roll down your window, knocking on the window with the gun. I just started panicking, like, oh my God, spare my life. I don't want to die. And they was like, give me the phone. So I had a charging block, and I also had my phone. I turned it over to them. And this other one, he ran off, the first one. The second one came in the car. He grabbed my pocketbook with my credit card, and it had like a few cash in there, and he just took off with it. So my phone, my credit card, my bag. I think I said my passport. No, my passport was at the hotel, so that was secured.
Wow. What
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Um, wow. What experience. Um, well, besides having this experience, will you go back?
I will go back, but like I said, if I do go back, I have to be very,
Precautions.
yeah, take precaution. And going, I would go to Cape Town. I heard so much about it. Like that's a part in South Africa that it's more tourist friendly, it's much more safer.
Yeah.
People in Cape Town, they're more wealthy, they have money, the crime rate is not as bad. So I think I will avoid going to Johannesburg. And if I do go there, then I will go there with somebody that's knowledgeable of the area,
Yeah.
which I was supposed to connect with somebody when I was there, but that person had other obligations. So that's why I ended up being there by myself.
Hmm.
But like I
Wow.
said, I went out by myself. I went to the shopping mall. I went out to parties. I went out to restaurants by myself while I was there. It was just that one incident that occurred. But other than that, it was great. Just have to take that precaution and not be out in the open, especially at nighttime after hours. But
Mm-hmm.
I would go back. But like I said, to exercise more precaution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're adventurous for sure. Yeah, you are. Um, and besides experience, would you go back? You answered that yes. It's
Yes.
some people, unfortunately, probably we get this on the news a lot. Like you said at the beginning, your friend told you, "What would you go there? What would you go to South Africa?" Right? And
Mhm.
I'm sure you've seen that thing, and you've seen that thing on the news, and probably you heard that thing by so many people, especially here in the States. And they've been saying that stuff too for Mexico and for other countries around the world that
Right.
we safe and the other countries are not really safe.
Right. Exactly.
Right,
Yep.
right, right. And I'm sure you're as a traveler, it's not 100% true. Obviously, every country has, every country has good parts and bad parts. You just got to be aware of that. But that's all. Same as the States. You there, right? You kind of froze a little bit. Are you there? Looks like we lost signal. Bueno, se perdió la señal ahora por un momento, pero voy a traducir lo que ella dijo por mientras. Spice dijo que tuvo una aventura muy buena en Sudáfrica, y entonces en Sudáfrica Spice visitó el lugar de Mandela. Eso es lo que visitó. El lugar de Mandela visitó Spice visitó el lugar de Mandela. También cuando visitó el lugar de Mandela, dijo que el boxeador Sugar Ray, hay un boxeador muy conocido que se llama Sugar Ray, que entregó su correa para Spice, le entregó la correa. Y estuvo también en la casa de Mandela, y ella como americana, um, eh, como americana, se sintió muy halagada por estar en un lugar donde tienen tanta historia como el lugar donde está el señor Mandela, ¿no? Que estuvo como ustedes saben algunos, Mandela fue un gran luchador por la libertad de Sudáfrica. Ella visitó el país de Sudáfrica y se sintió pero muy, se sintió ella se sintió muy halagada que estar en ese lugar donde hubo historia, ¿no? Donde este señor Mandela contribuyó mucho al país, y ella pudo estar, ¿no? Eso es lo bonito de viajar. Lo bonito de viajar, que tú puedes experimentar eso, que tú estás en los lugares de la historia, ¿no? Donde tú has caminado por esos lugares. Cuando vas a Roma, cuando vas a esos lugares, te sientes como eres parte de la historia cuando vas a esos lugares viajando. Y también después de que estuvo en Jamaica, perdóname, cuando estuvo en Sudáfrica, tuvo una experiencia un poquito diferente. La experiencia que tuvo fue que tuvo un robo. Había un robo que le pasó a Spice. Le pasó un robo que tuvo ahí en, en Sudáfrica. Le robaron, le tocaron la ventana con la arma, y el carro estaba parqueado. Ella fue a las horas de noche, era un poquito de noche. Ella estuvo ahí, y cuando estuvo de noche le tocaron la ventana con la pistola. Entonces ella estaba muy nerviosa, con eso entró un poco de pánico, bajó la ventana. A la final hizo las cosas que tenía que hacer, hizo lo correcto, entregó su celular y entregó sus pertenencias. Pero felizmente ella tuvo su pasaporte en el hotel, seguro. Así que es muy importante, si es que alguien pasa por algo en Sudáfrica, en América, en cualquier lugar del mundo, que uno le van a robar algo, siempre es importante dejar el pasaporte en el hotel. Esa es la experiencia que ella tuvo en Sudáfrica, ¿no? Una experiencia. Pero igual, le pregunté si es que ella volvería eh, a visitar Sudáfrica, y ella me dijo que sí, visitaría de nuevo Sudáfrica. Entonces, para que vean que a pesar de todo, que a pesar que tenemos a veces malas y buenas experiencias en un viaje, nosotros también eh, eh, podemos viajar de nuevo, y podemos ser más precavidos. Eso es todo lo que podría decir. Um, Eso es lo que podría decir. Lo que podría decir yo de- del viaje que tuvo ella, ¿no? No todo en la vida, en los viajes, van a ser buenos y malos. Eh, He tenido experiencias también malas. En Japón yo tuve una mala experiencia. Um, en Japón tuve una mala experiencia también. Y definitivamente la experiencia que yo tuve en Japón fue un poquito mala, pero por una cosa que pase malo en los viajes, eso no quiere decir que el viaje se malogre. No quiere decir eso. Well, um, Spice right now, she's back with us, so ella está de vuelta. Spice está de vuelta de nuevo y vamos a preguntarle ahora de otro continente. Okay? Okay. So, you back.
What happened? Was that my service?
Yeah, I believe it's a signal. Yeah,
T-Mobile.
Sometimes. Yeah, yeah,
Sorry about that, guys.
yeah. It's probably your signal there in New York City. I don't know.
Yeah. T-Mobile.
Yeah. Plus, it was snowing as well. Uh, so, so I was saying, besides the experience that you had, the experience that you had in South Africa, you say that you will go back, and then you say, yeah, I will go back no matter what. Because traveling doesn't have to be always perfect. That's what I was, always say. It doesn't have to be perfect. You got experience, I believe, that whole thing. What you think?
You tell me about it. Traveling is never perfect.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm bad luck. I like 90-something% of the time, my traveling is always fun. I have a great time. Besides the incident that happened in South Africa, Kenya, I did have one more incident that happened in Greece. At some point, which I don't know how the economy is right now, but I know at some point the economy took like a downturn. People, didn't have jobs and stuff like that. I was negligent. I left my bag on the floor next to me, and somebody came and swiped my bag. And at that point, I had my passport in there, so I had to go to the embassy and got like a new passport. But besides those incidences, I had like a great time with traveling, and of course, missing flights.
Miss flights, yeah.
Yeah, I miss flights.
Me too.
Yeah, but other than that, like traveling been a bliss.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like little like hiccups here and there, but nothing to the point where I'm terrified, where I'll never return. But it's travel. Life is not perfect. Things are going to happen. So, traveling is so great.
Mm-hmm. So now let's move to another continent. You've been recently to let's see, Europe or the Middle East? Dubai.
Europe, Iceland.
Oh, Iceland. Nice. How was it, Iceland?
So it's my second time going.
Wow. Second time.
Yeah, I went 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The main goal for me this time around was to see the Northern Lights.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't happen because of weather conditions.
Yeah, it depends on the weather.
Yep, I rebooked twice again in the same week, and they had to cancel because they were experiencing severe wind and rain. So unfortunately, I was able to see the Northern Lights, but I'm not bummed out about it because you could see it in Canada, you could see it in Alaska. You could see it in Finland. I never visited Finland, so there's places that you could still see it. But Iceland, I had a great time. It's like it's very mountainous, very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But the people, they were welcoming, they were like very friendly. Like I didn't like have any issue. But when I was there, I mostly stayed to myself. The people that I interacted with were people from the hotel and people that I met around the area. So I had a good time, and I was like, oh my God, this place is like so perfect. Like, what is the crime rate here? And as soon as I opened my mouth, my daughter, she was like, oh my God, look, there's a police car. And I was like, is that necessary to have like a police vehicle? Because the crime rate is like less than 1%. So I felt like very, very safe. I did snowmobiling. I went to the Blue Lagoon, which is the main attraction for tourists.
Mm-hmm.
They're have a lot of steam baths, and it's known for those kind of things, spas and steam baths. But I only went to the lagoon only because like my hotel it already had like a sauna and spa area, so it was like kind of pointless going away. And then my friend, he has a brand, Alicia Couture, so I decided to go and take some cool pictures and videos to model his brand.
Nice.
Name is Capone.New York. So CAPONE.NYC. Go check him out. Follow him, guys. Yeah.
Nice. Good advertising.
Yeah.
So, so you've been in Iceland and Europe. Which country in Europe you think is your top two favorite? Well, it's hard, right? It's always hard for a traveler to say that. Yeah, I know.
Okay. So, I always say that I will always go back to France, like no matter what. Like it's just one of those countries that I will always go and visit. Um, I don't know if it's my favorite, but I'm a big shopper. I love designer stuff sometimes. So going there and shopping and getting that 12 to 15% back, it's like always a highlight for me. So, and then of course, the Haifa Tower, the food is good. It's a big on wine. Um,
Gotcha. The
it's
food, the vibe. So
yeah,
France will be your
exactly.
favorite country in Europe so far.
I wouldn't say favorite.
Your top.
I would say the top. I try to stay away from the word favorite, but yeah, definitely a top.
Yeah.
And Italy, oh my God, Italy will always be a vibe. I will always go to Italy, like always. Like, and then Italy, I think I've been 3 times, and France maybe 3 to 4 times. So like I said, those would be my go-to country for the food, the people, the culture, and of course shopping. So always my vibes, always the top. Yeah.
Got you.
And then if you decide where you want to do something more budget friendly, you could go to Croatia. It's one of those European countries that's like inexpensive, to get like quality 5-star good food for very cheap. So, but Croatia, I wouldn't say it's on the top or the favorite, but for people that looking for a place to go and visit in Europe, I will always recommend Croatia.
Nice beaches in Croatia.
Yeah, nice beaches.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially the south. It's really nice. Yeah, I was stationed actually when I was in the military. I was stationed in Italy, so I used to drive a lot to Croatia.
Okay, nice. Yeah, very beautiful.
So now tell me about America, the continent, because you recently, I believe, you've been in America, in the continent. Not too many people explore. Argentina, Brazil. I mean, Brazil, yeah, but not too many people explore Chile, Peru, probably those countries in South America. And I don't know if you visited Central America as well, but
I did, yeah.
Not too many people visited those countries in the Americas.
Okay.
Can you tell us about it a little bit?
Okay, so I learned, like I said, when you are traveling, especially in a time like this, during like COVID, there's a lot of restrictions. So you always have to be well read. And even if you read the information a month ago, you always have to be abreast of the situation because things changes with COVID. So my first country that I visited in South America was in Colombia, and that was maybe 4 years ago.
Where in Colombia, though?
I went to Cartagena. Yeah, I went there, but I could get back to that. So for the most recent, it was in November of last year. So I was supposed to go to Chile, and I went to Chile, and I ran into customs who took my passport.
Yeah,
because there's something that you need. You need something called a mobile pass. Because of what's going on with Corona, you cannot enter the country unless, you have that mobile pass. So there was like different conflicting information. On the Chile traveling website, it says that you could come without the mobile pass and quarantine. But on the American website, it was telling you that you cannot go without the pass. So it was just very conflicting information. So when I arrived, they told me they're denying me entry. So I had to go back to where I came from, which is Peru. But because I had on a forward flight to already go to Brazil, they let me go to Brazil. Yeah, but now I have the pass, and I do plan to go back to Chile sometime this year. I do have the mobile pass now.
Where in Chile you were supposed to go?
Santiago, just the capital.
Oh, the capital. Okay,
yeah,
Santiago.
So, just roam around for a couple of days. Nothing serious.
Well, tell me about your experience then in South America. So you end up going to Peru. You end up going to Argentina as well, right?
Yes, correct.
and I believe Brazil about it. So tell us first about Brazil a little bit.
Wow. So Brazil, I think I was there for almost like 2 weeks. I think for 4 days I did not leave my hotel room. I stayed in because I went to is this hotel called La Suite,
Mm-hmm.
LASUITE,
That's
or
sweet.
they call it Dussol,
Mm-hmm.
DUSSOL, and it was like only 7 guests. Chavi can make all mistake because you don't know the culture. Yeah, correct, Christina.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like just 7 rooms or 7 guests that was allowed to be in this hotel. It's like very small. So it was just like so nice, and I felt like I was home in my own mansion. So I was just like relaxing, just doing room service. So I,
Mm-hmm.
I stayed in my hotel for like 4 days. I didn't leave and I didn't go explore. But after the fourth day, I went out and then I met some friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Christ the Redeemer and I took a Uber, like, to go there. And then on my way back, I was like, oh my God, there was no Uber coming. So I was just trying to negotiate like my fare to go back to the city. And then I met someone and she actually came over to me. She was like, oh, let's share the fare. I'm here with my friend. Let's go together. At first I was like, okay, I don't know, I might be a little bit
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
skeptical. It's Brazil. I've heard like the crime rate is very bad. But she was like talking to me and then I felt a little bit more comfortable. And
Mm-hmm.
from then we started hanging out. We went to hike together up in the mountains. We went to the Three Brothers. We went out to have dinner. We went
Mm-hmm.
out to like the city center. And then today they're my friends on Instagram and we plan to like link up sometime this year. So you do meet friends and you do meet awesome people along the way of traveling. So for me, that was like my highlights. And while I met them, there were some activities that I went and I did on my own. I did some hiking by myself and I did get lost up in the mountains. And but I did find my way. And because I've heard like of the crime rate in Brazil, I was scared. I was like, you're stupid, why are you here by yourself? So at
Mm-hmm.
some points I was a little bit nervous because I met some people up in the mountains were like, hey, are you by yourself? So I will always lie and say, no, I'm not by myself. My friends are all the way down there. I just walk a little bit
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
closer.
Let's see.
Yeah, but I was safe in Brazil. Like nothing happened to me, whether I was by myself or I was with like a group of people.
Yeah.
I like I said, there were some points that I felt safe just by stories that I've heard in the past. But like I said, overall, I had a great time, and I came out safe, and I met a few amazing friends that I'm currently friends with, and plan to hang out again this year.
Yeah. How long total you were in Brazil again?
I'm sorry.
How long total was it?
How many
How
days?
long was it? How long you stay in Brazil?
I would say I think 10 to 12 days, so almost 2 weeks. Yeah.
Mm,
Yep.
2 weeks.
Yeah. And
So
four of
you went
those
to
days.
Rio, right? Rio and then Sao Paulo, or just Rio?
Yeah, I went to Rio and then I did a stopover in Sao Paulo, but I just stayed for like a few hours. I didn't do too much touring because I was by myself, and then again I heard like it wasn't safe, so I just decided to just stay more in Rio.
Mm. So you have fun with a few friends. You hang out with some friends in Brazil as well. You
Yeah,
made some friends in there.
yeah, made some friends. Like I said, people
Hmm.
were friendly. I did a lot of Ubering. Ubering was like very cheap, so that was like my mode of transportation. So
Hmm.
inside the Uber, I felt like very safe from point A to point B, And then also I did walk around. Like I was my hotel was across the street from like the beach and stuff like that. So I walked around and I felt safe in those areas.
Hmm. So one of the in the chat room, Pancho is asking, "You like Spanish and you as a foreigner? How it sounds to you if you could imitate the way speaking? Can you imitate the way?
I
Can you,
understand what he's saying.
no, basically he's saying if you like Spanish as a second language, and also he's saying, can you imitate Spanish? At least, can you imitate it? Can you?
Un poquito español. That's my go-to line, like everywhere I go. But I always tell myself that I need to learn Spanish. It's like the second language for America, and it's like
Yeah.
I need to learn it because actually, my friend that I met there, she's European, but she was in Brazil for a period of time, and
Yeah.
she learned the language. Like, a lot of people didn't know a lot of English. So what really helped me was people had their mobile device and they pull up like translators on their phones. But she was also my translator, a white girl, be my translator. And
Wow.
people would ask me questions, and I would look to her, and I was like, "What are they talking about? Can you translate for me?" So that was amazing. So she gave me hope. Like, listen, you need to get on your language, start learning Spanish, because I love the culture. I'm very fond of it. So I feel like learning that language would be like amazing. Instead of being monolingual, be bilingual at least.
uh, Tell me which country you had, travel since, obviously when you go to the Americas, when you go to, especially when you go to Peru or Brazil or probably to Argentina, do you had some difficulties over there because the language?
Yes, I did. I had a lot of difficulties, but like I said, people, we're so abreast with technology now. So
Yeah,
people, like, they would take out their phones and write, and that would
yeah,
translate. So I did a lot of that. So there was times where I looked and I was like, okay, this is the landmark. I know where I'm going, and then I'm not good with direction. I have no sense of direction, so I would end up
hmm,
getting lost as usual. So I would ask somebody, like, "Can you help me find this place? My hotel is here." And they will have no idea what I'm talking about. But like I said, we have like technology. We have the phone. We use the app, and with
yeah,
that, was able to guide me in the right place or places that I needed to be. So thank God for technology. So that was my most difficult experience, like the language barrier. But people were still welcoming, they were still friendly, they still try to help me despite the
yeah,
barriers. And then what's so funny is that they would apologize to me for not being fluent in English or knowing un poquito English. But I was like, I should be the one apologizing. Like, you guys know like 2 to 3 to 4 languages. I don't know it. I should be on your
hmm,
level. So don't apologize. I should be the one apologizing. So
hmm. Well, I think is because English is well spoken around the world, and
right.
sometimes we don't have to. We are like so comfortable just to speak English around. So that's what it is. Um, so tell me about a little bit Argentina because you also been there, right? How was it? And because I heard that Argentina as well, the currency, right? It's something going on with it, inflation as well, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. So I don't have a favorite. Like I tell you, I don't do favorite countries and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But because I love to shop and I'm a big money girl, Argentina, it's in the top for me.
Hmm.
Because let me give you a little bit of trick. So $1, if you take a US dollar and you take it to the bank, the exchange rate is going to be 100 pesos.
Okay.
However, if you send money to yourself, Western Union, you send a dollar to yourself, Western Union, your money doubles. So that $1 is now going to be 200 pesos.
Wow. So
So,
double.
yeah. So the important thing to do is send money to yourself prior to you getting there. So you could go to the Western Union and withdraw that money, and you're able to buy things. So people love the dollars. So you're able, like, to get everything half off. So if they have something for 200 pesos with your American money, is going to be 100 pesos. So for the vast majority of things, half off. So for me, I was living like a queen. I
Mhm.
stayed in like a 4-star hotel in the city center, and I spent $75 for a
What?
nice
That's it.
hotel.
75.
Yes,
But you
75.
pay that question though. You pay that thing cash or you pay that electronically. The booking through online.
No, so okay, so the what you need to know is the only thing you might end up booking from America is your plane fare, unless you know somebody down there that will book it for you. Other
Hmm.
than that, if you go on Expedia and you're booking your hotel, you could reserve it, but pay when you get there. So
Hmm.
you reserve it in American currency. Let's say it's $100 a night in American currency. Don't pay with your credit card. Look for the hotels that allow you to reserve it, but pay once you arrive. Then once you get there, you get their money and you pay them in the pesos.
Got it. I
Yeah.
understand. So
Or
you just booked it. That's all you
yes,
do, and then you pay later.
exactly. Because
Yeah.
it's gonna be half off. That $100 is now gonna turn into $50 a night. Or you could pay them in the American, but it's gonna be half off. So Argentina and Venezuela, those are the two countries in the world that allows you to do that, where your money actually doubles.
Cuba as well, I think.
Yeah, Venezuela and
Yeah.
Argentina. So
Mm-hmm.
actually I was at this resort. It was like up in the mountains, like this 5-star beautiful place for 2 nights. It was about $550. And
Mm-hmm.
I paid on my card. And of course, I'm very social, very friendly. I was having a conversation with a couple, and he told me that. He was like, "Hey, by the way, don't use your card." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Hey, everything's half off. Go and send yourself money to Western Union and pay in cash."
Mm-hmm.
So I tell him, "Listen, please put that money back on my credit card." And I went, send myself money to Western Union, and I paid them in pesos. So it was half
Hmm.
off.
Wow.
Yeah. Everything was half off. It's like it's the best for Americans. Everything is so cheap. I was out there like balling, living like a rock star. I went to a place called Don Julio.
Yeah.
Like the big steak and a bottle of champagne that I ordered was like, I think it was like $75. In America, that would be like a $400 bill. So you definitely could live and survive in Argentina.
Definitely your money lasts in there, huh?
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely.
So what places you end up visiting in Argentina? You end up going to the south, I believe, right? Went to
Yes.
the countries on the way in the south. The I believe it's Ushuaia, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Ushuaia.
How was it?
It was breathtaking, honestly. It's like, I don't know where I could compare it to, but it's like a small
Mm-hmm.
mountainous town. So with me, I'm very big on small towns and I like mountains with the nice views and overlooking the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
The people it wouldn't be a place where I would live, but definitely visit, which I plan to visit this November again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was good. The food, the people were friendly. Surprisingly, they spoke more English than people that
Mm-hmm.
resided in
Yeah.
city, Buenos Aires, the city. So, you know, very welcoming, very friendly people, like full of nature. I went for a walk. I felt very safe. You know, had a great time there, which, like I said, I'm visiting again in November of this year.
Yeah, because that's the last step in order to go to the Antarctica, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's what I want to go there to Ushuaia, which is the most southern country in the world,
It
the
is.
city, sorry, in the
City,
world.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I want to go actually.
Yeah.
And you say basically over there, just send money to you, and then you'll be
Yep.
to able to cash double your money, get double.
Exactly.
That's what
Yeah.
it is.
But
Wow.
also, what I learned
Yeah.
from these Western Unions, I
Yeah.
got a little bit upset because my friend, she was the one that sent me the money. I think she sent me 500 US,
Yeah.
and they didn't have that much money, and
In
in
pesos.
yes,
Yeah.
so I had to
Wow.
wait all day. And in addition to waiting all day, I was like a little bit annoyed. I was like upset. But then, like I said, when you travel, you make mistakes, you learn things. To go forward, you no longer make those mistakes. So you could send yourself money in like small increments. So maybe $200 and then maybe another 200. But of course, you're paying those fees. So those fees add up. But the amount of money you save in, it outweighs the fees that you have to pay. Or what you could do is send yourself the 500, but go to a Western Union and say, hey, I have this much money that I want to cash. I'm letting you know right now at 9 o'clock. I'll be back before closing. And by that time, they'll make that money, which is what happened to me. I had to wait all day, but they end up making that money and was able to give it to me.
Hmm. That's that's really interesting. Definitely really interesting. Cassandra Williams is asking, are there meetup groups for solo travelers? Do you know any of them?
So I've heard of meetup groups on YouTube's and, I
Yeah.
think like when Facebook was a thing for me, I've heard of those, but I've never traveled in meetup groups. Like I said, for
Hmm.
me, I just get up and I do my own thing. I like doing my own thing. So,
Hmm.
like a group setting would not be something that I would want to do. But like I said, when you meet people along the way, that's amazing because, you have like the same likes and sometimes, they allow you to go off and you do your own thing.
Your
And then
own schedule, you do
yeah,
whatever you want.
exactly. It's no
Yeah.
schedule I want to sleep in. It's whatever I feel the need to do. So I'm not a big fan of groups. I mean, I don't
Hmm.
I don't see it being a bad thing. It could be a good thing if they're not like consuming all of your time, saying we have to follow this schedule, we have to
Yeah.
meet up every day. If it's not like that, then I think it's fine. But I've never done that.
Yeah, I don't like also to take those tours already programmed to you. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really like that.
Yeah, and like I
Okay.
said, like if you're friendly and you have that personality, then you have no you end up being a part of a meetup group unexpectedly. Like I said, with my friends in Brazil, we became a group. It was three of us, and
Yeah.
then they
Yeah.
met people that they stayed with along the way. So one point, it was five of us hiking in the mountains,
Hmm.
and they knew each other, but I didn't know them. So it was like five of us, and we became a group. We went out, we ate, we drank champagne. So, like I said, it depends on your personality, and it depends on, who you are. You go out there, you meet people, and if you're safe and if you're comfortable,
Hmm.
then it could turn out being like a group. But never went out and with a group actually.
Hmm. Before we go to the next question, let me translate this to you real quick,
Okay.
and then just to let you know, you have 10 more minutes, and then we don't. Sorry, we're taking your time because we said say 45 minutes, and we stretching this time.
Oh,
Uh,
it's
the
okay.
conversation is really, really good. Okay, let me translate this. Le hice unas cuantas preguntas a nuestra amiga Spice. Le hice unas cuantas preguntas también sobre su viaje a Argentina, que me cuenta su viaje al Brasil también. Primero fue el viaje al Brasil, Brasil encantó, hizo unas amistades en Brasil, hizo unas buenas amistades en Brasil y ahí la pasó muy bien, pasó por Río, se quedó un poquito en Sao Paulo, pero no quiso, se quedó alrededor de unas 2 semanas casi en Brasil y la pasó muy bien. También cuando fue a Argentina, le gustó mucho Argentina, lo pone en el top Argentina porque el dinero, uno va al banco, le dan como 100 pesos y dice, pero si se los mandan, si es que reciben el dinero de Western Union, reciben el doble de dinero reciben con el dinero de Western Union. Es decir, que el dinero ahora mismo, si es que alguien quiere viajar de los Estados Unidos o de Europa, le conveniera viajar a Argentina porque el dinero el dinero sí es muy, se estrecha, digamos que el dinero se estrecha, los pesos, la conversión de los pesos a los dólares es mucho dinero y eso hace lo que dice también el chat que tenemos acá nuestro amigo, cualquier gringo es rico en América Latina, eso hace el chat. Ah, en fin, vamos a preguntar las siguientes preguntas. Le voy a preguntar también qué le gustó en Argentina y es su comida favorita en América Latina y también vamos a preguntar de su viaje al Perú. Ok. Y también tenemos como invitado a Cristian. Cristian, te vamos a invitar en unos 5 minutitos más si tenemos en el programa. Ok. So now, tell me in Argentina, besides Ushuaia and Buenos Aires, uh, what you really liked about Argentina? What was the thing that you say like, oh wow, they have this, oh wow, what was the thing that impacted you in Argentina?
So when I travel, especially to Europe,
Yeah.
I'm a big museum girl. I love going to the museum.
Hmm.
And I must say, while I was in Buenos Aires, the museum Malba, Malba, it wowed me. Like I loved it. Like it just blew me away. The art was so amazing. And I was like, oh my God. You wasn't even allowed to take pictures. And I snuck some pictures. But yeah, that was like the biggest takeaway from me. And then in Argentina, like I said, traveling by myself, minding my business, I met friends and I ended up being a part of a photo shoot for a company, actually. Yeah. So I was by I was by this statue and I forgot the name of it. It's like this humongous steel statue. And I'd asked
Hmm.
somebody to take a photo for me. They said, hey, do you mind being a part of a photo shoot? And I did. And I'm modeling their clothes, their design, and now I'm on their Facebook page.
What was the brand again?
I think it's Carol CHOLA.UK or OK. I'll get back to you and give you that info.
Okay. Wow, that was cool. So basically, wow, same as Brazil.
Same as Brazil. That's what I said. You don't have to be a part of a travel group. You meet groups along the way. And now they was like, oh, we want you back. And we're friends on IG now. And then my friend that I told you about, Capone, that New York, they wanted to partner with him to do a feature, but because they have different vision, so they decided not to. But that's how you get to meet people, socializing.
Yeah. Wow, that's super cool. That's super cool. Wow. And
then
you said the museum was called Malva, right?
Malba, Malba.
Okay.
Malba.
Got it. That's cool. That's cool. So tell me about, so from there, I mean, you went to Peru, right? And then you went to all over. So tell me about Peru a little bit. How was it?
So I am not the type that rates a country, but that was the first country that I've ever rated in my life, and I gave it a 10 out of a 10.
And why?
The reason being is just that vibe that I felt when I first landed. And I felt like those people, they were just so different. I felt like they were the nicest set of people on the planet. Food was amazing. And I'm a big fan of the gay community. I went, they were celebrating Pride. The Pride flag was hang up every single. For me, that was okay. I don't know if the president is gay or who, but they were just that Pride flag. So for me, that was a big check on my list. And then I felt that people were just friendly. The food were amazing. And of course, it's home to one of the wonders of the world, Machu
Picchu. Yeah.
I could never pronounce these names. I butchered.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. So great time. And it was just a feeling that I had. It was just being there. It was just so captured. It's just a feeling that's undeniable, unexplainable. And I don't think I've felt that besides going to Cuba was one of the other countries that I've had that feeling. And definitely I recommend it. A personal driver too. I ended up getting the wrong COVID test. And he stayed with me all day. We went out to eat. He took me around the city. He didn't have to do all of that, And then, when you miss your flight and stuff like that, it's nerve-wracking sometimes. And there was a customer service rep for the airline. Let me use her phone. She was just so calm. The fact that she was calm, that calmed me down. And then the fact that my driver, he came back and he picked me up. And, I already checked out my hotel. And he didn't let me stay at the hotel and he let me stay at the airport and be lost. He was just there with me every step of the way. So all of those contributed to me giving it a 10 out of a 10. And
so we could say customer service.
Customer service, exactly. And just the atmosphere itself as well. It's a feeling that I can't describe. I can't really explain it, but it's just, I felt at peace and I felt comfortable. And some countries you go to, oh my God, I wonder what's going to happen. Heard about the crime rate. And there I felt at peace. Oh, then it was a lot of mountainous areas and very big. So that in itself, make sure when you go, you do the I think it's the Vendome, VADOME train. It takes you into the mountainside to So that was just breathtaking. Very mountainous, very countryside-ish. The hills, the valleys, all of that made me give it a 10 out of 10.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, now we're gonna get somebody else here in the chat. He's gonna ask you a question. His name is Christian, and he's from Chile. And he has some questions for you. Let's see. Yeah, he's one of the. He always on the chat. So let's see. What's up, Christian? You there?
Hey there, how you doing?
Hi, Christian. How are you?
Nice, Spicy, I'm fine, good, and you?
I'm
How
doing
you
well.
doing?
I'm doing very well. Hope you're doing well.
Good.
So tell us, Christian, you have any questions
And
for Spice?
oh my God, I've been listening all about what he said, and I said, oh my God, it's just my kind of my journey. And also when I was talking, oh my God, I have too many ideas in my head that I have to know anything how to put in order. So I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And
take your time.
thank you so much.
No problem, man.
Spicy. Now you are in Africa. That's it.
No, New York.
Oh, in New York. Right. I got it. I got it. Okay. Right. That's good. And which if you are in here in Chile, which part do you wanna be?
So of course, Santiago because that's the major city. Also, there's an area where they have like those statues. I know you have to take a flight, and the flight goes, I think, once per week. I don't remember the name of that area. Like I researched it. I have it
Isla de
written down.
Pascua.
What's the name of it?
Isla de Pascua.
Where they have all those
Easter
Yeah,
statues.
Island.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where I want
Easter
to go.
Island.
Yes. So, but definitely the capital, Santiago.
Oh,
Mhm.
all right. That's gonna be a good idea. But probably you should be gone on the move to the southward because
What?
you can be on the Patagonia because yeah, it could be a little bit cold, but that's gonna be a good idea to find it out.
Hmm. So when you said the south of Chile, where exactly? Like which airport would you fly into?
Well, if you're gonna be in New York City or Miami or probably in Dallas Forward, that would be in Santiago, Chile.
Okay.
But if you're gonna go to the southern or northern, you should be gone. There's too many airliner that you could take you to south
Okay. Not
or
a lot.
north.
So
It doesn't
basically,
matter.
what
It
he's
doesn't
saying.
matter. That's gonna be for Latam. What?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Latam.
were you from where again?
There's another airliner that you can together through. For example, JetSmart or Sky Airline or Latam.
Yeah, I know. Latam is not Colombia. What's that country?
Avianca?
No, not Avianca. No. I'm talking about it's base. Is it Colombia? Yeah, Colombia. That's where it's based. Latam. It's
Yeah,
headquartered.
because in that moment when I was Latam Colombia, there was another kind of company that it has Latin American network. That means Line Chile.
Which airline was that?
That's the main reason that I have to find it out because
Okay.
Line Chile has many reasons to find many branch. For example, Line Chile, Line Argentina, Line Peru, and Line Ecuador and Line Colombia. So in that moment when it was all about all the companies going through, Latam Tams go through land. Do you
Okay.
understand me?
Yes.
So in that moment, when Tam gone, that is from Brazil, gone through all about land, and that moment through makes at that company Latam. That means the mix between land, that is
Mm-hmm.
that land Argentina, land Chile, land Peru, land Colombia, land Ecuador, and then when Tam going to pass through the land, that means gone through Latam.
Okay.
There is a Brazilian airliner.
Right. I think I heard of it. Is it LAN?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Excuse
think
me?
it is.
No, it's actually, is it LAN? LAN. LAN.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
If I don't remember, LILAM. That's for 1997 until 19 no 2026
Mhm.
2026.
Okay.
Um, Christian, you have any questions like um about like her traveling experience, probably?
Sure, indeed. I would like to know about an Africa, because I've been hearing that she was in Kenya, in South Africa. Is that it?
Yes, correct.
How was your experience over there?
So in Kenya, I went about 8 to 9 years ago, and I went for a volunteer project. So I went to work with
Oh,
kids that were in orphanages. Can you hear me?
sure, indeed. I can hear you.
Yeah, so I went and I worked with kids in orphanages. And of course, when you had your free time, I was able to branch out and go to like different cities and enjoy like the culture itself. But what I found out was that before you travel, like anywhere in the world, you have to learn the customs and courtesy, because I had an experience where I did not learn the custom and courtesy, and I started like twerking with one of my Japanese friends, and I almost got stoned, and then the police had to intervene. So learning the custom and courtesy is number one goal when visiting a country.
Oh my, that's gonna be a
He
good idea.
was like, "Oh my, yes, yeah." And South Africa. I'm very big on Nelson Mandela. So given the opportunity to go and visit his hometown and to actually walk on the same grounds as him, and to be in the house that he raised his children and where he lived with his wife, was just like amazing for me. So those were my highlights from those countries. Of course, you have like other things that I did, other fun experiences, food and things of that nature, but just going and just being in the house where Nelson Mandela once lived, and him living down the block from Desmond Tutu, the Archbishop that just passed away. For me, that was like everything, like the highlight of me traveling to South Africa.
Oh my, that's good. That's gonna be a good experience, doesn't it? I feel like I really wanna be in Africa, but for some reason it does. I don't know why, but I don't take my advantage to go over there.
Mm. There's great parts in Africa. Like I said, you always have to exercise the precaution wherever you go. Um, one part of Africa that I went as well last April, I was in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, I met amazing people that they took me around, and to this day there was a nice guy that I met and I call him Papa. We stayed in touch all this time, and I do plan to go back and visit. So, I might have had like bad experience in South Africa getting robbed, but Zimbabwe made up for that.
Yeah, but the main problem that we have in here, just because we have no any non-stop flight from Santiago to Africa, we have to go to Sao
The
Paulo or
connections,
even
right?
more than, yeah. So it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't. It seems like I don't know. It's so far away. Just if we took a flight from Santiago to Europe, it's better than North America.
Mm.
So can you imagine that from Santiago to Africa? It's so it's just
Oh, from Brazil straight to Africa because it's right there, seeing each other. Brazil and Africa
Yeah.
see each other. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. Okay. Uh, Christian, any more questions?
No, I have no any question about it.
Thanks for the
She
question.
she let me know about herself. She let me know more than Africa. She let me know all about her travels. So I have I have no any question about it.
Okay.
Just just a point. I just come in just for her experience about South America.
Mm-hmm.
You understood?
Yeah, he
You,
wanted to know more about the experience, or he heard enough about it already. Like I thought he said he came to listen about my experience for South Africa. I
no,
mean
I
South
think he's
America.
asking more your experience about South America. That's what I heard. The South, right? Sudamerica.
Yeah, it's a mix between South Africa in Africa and South America. That's a point.
You see any similarities? That was his question. Yeah.
Oh, I don't I don't think so.
And
Not
also, if I- just let me know about this comparison. If you have to compare all your experience between America and Africa, what is you miss between that you can't find it out in indeed?
but I didn't understand the question. I'm sorry.
I mean, look, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
If you had to compare South America and Africa, what
Okay.
is your balance that you have between it?
Okay, so if I had to compare Africa and South America, what would be the takeaway? That's what he's asking, correct,
¿Cuál
right?
es la pregunta? Dímelo en español, a ver.
That's it. She understood me.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Um, the people, people they're like so passionate about their culture, and going to Brazil, Peru, and Argentina, people are so passionate. They want you to come back. They welcome and they want you to be a part of their family. And it's the same way in Africa as well. People are just so welcoming. But of course, as much as that's a similarity, it's like big differences. People mostly speak um, English and Spanish and Portuguese in South America, but in Africa, the religion is different. people are more Muslim, people speak like different dialects to Africa, so it's a lot different than it's similar. But like I said, the only takeaway for the most part is like people are so welcoming and like passionate about their culture. They want to include you. They want you to be a part of it. They're very friendly, nurturing, and helpful. So that would be the takeaway.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Spice.
You're welcome.
Mm.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, Christian.
Same to you, dear Inkahustler.
He said it's so cute. Inkahustler.
Okay, so we're gonna play a game, Spice.
Okay.
We're gonna play a game real quick. So I'm gonna tell you a country. I'm gonna name a country, okay? Whatever country I'm gonna name, and then whatever comes to your mind, you gotta tell me real quick. So don't cheat. Whatever, and if you have a story, tell me why you say that word. For example, if I said, you tell me. If you say USA, I said the flag. Because it reminds me of a lot of stuff, and but. Just tell me one thing only, okay? Or two max, okay? So let's play. Ready?
Yes.
China.
The Great Wall.
Great Wall.
I was like, wait, how many words is that? Okay, Great Wall.
Gotcha.
That's the main. Excuse me. That's the main thing that that I even have in my mind.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
It was the highlight of me going to China, the Great Wall.
Okay, now let's do it. Okay, China. Okay, Iceland.
The Blue Lagoon.
Nice. Mexico.
Food.
Okay, Mexico food. Comida. Argentina.
Money.
South Africa.
Beach.
Kenya.
Culture.
Nepal.
Mountain.
Brazil.
Mountain.
Colombia. Quick.
Travel.
Gotcha.
Chile.
Quick.
Detainee.
Peru.
Mountainous.
Oh yeah. USA.
Opportunity.
Jamaica.
Culture.
Definitely culture. Dubai.
Skyscrapers.
Wow. Skyscrapers, huh?
Yeah.
And the last country. You ready?
Yep.
This time you gotta tell me two things about this country, okay?
Okay.
Two. Not just one. Okay. Because I already mentioned Jamaica, which is Ethiopia.
Beauty. Grace.
Why you say beauty? Tell us.
I feel like people, when it comes to, and I'm not being biased or anything, but when it comes to like beauty, like people from like Africa are not like seen in that light as like beautiful. So when I went to Ethiopia, I felt that these people are so gorgeous. I couldn't stop staring at them. They just come in like different shades, different hair texture. And for me, like me being to Sweden, most people are just the same, just white, mostly blonde hair, blue eyes. It's not mixed up. Like so and so diversified. So for me, there's no one standard of beauty, It's just they present everything. Dark skin, light skin, kinky hair, fine hair. And for me, it was like, oh, wow, this is beautiful. Different shades, different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Interesting. And you mentioned about Jamaica culture,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that word because, like, some people will say family, but you choose to say culture,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're breaking up a little
Yeah.
bit, I believe, but we can hear you.
You
Um,
can hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. You're breaking up though,
Okay.
but we can hear you.
Oh.
You mentioned culture, and that's a really for me. I would say that almost the same thing. Culture. If they were asking me about Peru or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
I believe you use a really exact word to describe Jamaica because that's you. That's your culture. Bringing,
Mm-hmm.
that's your culture that you have inside of you, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's really, 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 really cool about Jamaica. Now, if I tell you Jamaica again, tell me three things. What would you say? Three.
Prideful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well known.
Mm-hmm.
Um, athletic.
Athletic. Can you describe us why?
So Jamaica is the country that has the fastest man,
Mm-hmm.
Usain Bolt, and the fastest woman, Elaine Thompson. We hold the world record in the 100 meter, which determined the fastest man and woman.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we first were brought on the map with Merlene Ottey. She was like the face of Jamaica when it came to track and field. And since her, we've broken out or ventured out with like more athletes. And like I said, we had Usain Bolt would solidify our um our existence or our being in the track and field or the Olympic Games. You know, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people they love him. As Jeno said, Jamaica Usain Bolt. So when I go across the world, people ask me, where are you from? And I do that Usain Bolt hand gesture. Or I say Usain Bolt, like people they can relate, they get very excited.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a small country, but so dominant. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, it was like I think my parents they did a good job for me to be born in Jamaica, which I'm very proud of my country. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's so many countries in the island that emulates Jamaica. Most people like they want to be a part of the culture, even though they weren't born there. They people always like yeah man, it's just like like a
Yeah.
little fun they make, a little words
Yeah.
they say. And I feel like that's like it's a warm comforting feeling that people actually like love your culture, they love the food, they love the music, for it to be such a tiny island and people like love it, love the
Mm-hmm.
culture, like that's everything. It makes me feel warm inside.
Mm.
Yeah.
What beautiful words you said. Definitely. Everything that you described about Jamaica is,
Yeah.
is, is what I was thinking as well too.
Yeah.
Um,
With Prince Harry here from um, um what is he from England
mhm.
running with Usain Bolt. We had the former president of the United States, Barack Obama,
Yeah.
hanging out with Usain Bolt. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Hey, so in order to we are about to actually finish this podcast, and thank you first of all for giving me more than an hour, just an hour and a half almost. Thank you for that though. What would you advise to people that that probably they're thinking about the traveling, but they are like, I don't want to go by myself. They're thinking about it. They double. They're thinking too much about it. Probably. What would you advise to people that want to travel and see the world? What would you advise to them? Especially to a female. That want to go on. But probably she heard so many news. Saying it's too dangerous to travel, especially this time. Because COVID and all that, because I believe you started traveling during COVID season as well, right?
Yes.
So what would you advise them?
First, I like to say we are on borrowed time, meaning that life is short. We don't know when would be our last day on earth. So if there's something that you want to do or is there something that you're passionate about, go ahead and do it. Like, yes, you might have reservations, like, oh my God, I'm scared, but you will never know until you try it, you know? And there's like precaution that you could take. It does help that you can research the country, research the hotel and the surrounding areas and the things that you want to do. And there's people like you, like you're an avid traveler. So people can reach out to you and ask you questions about your experiences and your recommendations. Even though I travel a lot, there's still people that I follow on Instagram and I ask them questions or see their posts and I ask them about their experiences. But time waits for no man and time waits for no one. So I feel like you should just get out there, live your life and do it. Because if you are scared, you'll never do it. If you wait on friends, sometimes you'll never go. So just get out there and do it and reach out to people like myself and you that have been around the world and get your questions answered. Book the flight. Go do it. Life is short.
Thank you. Thank you. Once again, for real. Thank you for being at the Inkahustler podcast show.
You're welcome.
One thing though,
Yes.
before we leave, anything you want to say, anything that you want to say, besides probably a question that I didn't ask, what you want to say to everybody out there who wants to travel.
Thanks for having me, first of all. And like I said, I'm gonna reiterate what I said just now, which is you have to get out there and you have to take the first step. Traveling, it doesn't have to be expensive. You can still travel on a budget. Like the people that I met in Brazil, they stayed in hostels. So hostels, it's like cheaper. You could room with roommates, and you could book off season where you could get like a cheap flight, round trip economy. Starting out, I was talking to my daughter actually, and we were talking about like moments where we stayed in like hostels, and like that's how we started. And we
Mm-hmm.
started like in economy, like basic flights. So, you can like travel on a budget. You could start off with countries that are cheaper. Like you could get big bang for your buck, like countries like Argentina. So you could start off very small, but do take the steps. Do reach out to people that have been to those countries and ask them for recommendations. Definitely ask them for suggestions. Don't be afraid, because people ask me questions all the time, and I do ask people questions all the time, like, hey, what's your experience? And that's how you learn, that's how you grow, but you do have to take that first step. So I encourage you, I urge you, and once you start, you're not going to stop. Look at me, I'm always on the go. I can't stop. It's like you want more, you want to see the world. It's like going to Peru. Like I went to like the Rainbow Mountain. I was like, oh my God, a
Mm-hmm.
real rainbow mountain. This is like real. Like I can't stay in New York City and see this. Like for you to actually see the world, you have to get out there and visit it. Somewhere in my brain, like get excited when I'm like, okay, I left my footprints around the world. When I die, I did what I came to do, which is to see the world. That's my fulfillment in life, and I urge you and I encourage you to go out there and do the same.
Yeah. So people's asking for your IG channel. So this is her IG is Spice Dutra. That's her IG here, her Instagram for anybody that want to follow it. Su Instagram de viajes es una viajera activa. If anybody want to see it. Now, the last thing that I want to ask you, for my followers, since this is like a Latino channel, uh, can you tell us a phrase in Spanish?
I don't know how to say it.
Come
I
on,
can tell
try it.
you. I'm gonna say okay. Every time I speak to a Spanish person or somebody from that background, I'm gonna say what I say all the time. Un poquito español. It's a phrase. I'm learning, guys. I promise. I'm gonna get on my Spanish game and I'm gonna learn and I'm gonna come back and we're gonna have great conversations. But anybody that wants to follow me, like you said, is Spice, SPICE,
Mm-hmm.
Dutra, DUTRA. SPICE, DUTRA. Go join, request me. You have any questions? I'm here to answer all your questions. Spice Dutra, guys.
Got it. Thank you, and
Thank you.
no, seriously, thank you for everything, and we'll definitely, we're gonna have you back. Probably one of this. That's your Instagram on the screen
Yep,
right
that
now.
is it.
Everybody could see it. Spice Zutra. That's her Instagram. If anybody want to add her on it. Well, thank you for your time. It's been an hour and 39 minutes. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. See you
Okay.
soon,
Take
guys.
care. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Okay, guys. Whew. That was a long interview. Definitely. Thank you, Spice Zutra, for everything. And for real, thank you. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Christian, for being in the chat. Thanks, everybody. Seriously. Now I'm going to do the translation in Spanish. Gracias a todos nuestros amigos que han entrado. Muchísimas gracias por entrar al chat. Generalmente no tenemos... generalmente siempre tengo esta no es la primera vez que tengo, no es la primera vez que tengo el podcast en inglés. Lo he tenido en inglés muchas veces. Si han chequeado, he entrevistado a un chico de Islandia, he entrevistado a una persona que vive en Dubai y he entrevistado a otra persona que no me recuerdo, pero ya son como 4 personas que he hecho la entrevista en inglés. Una de Suecia también. Entonces, amigos, este canal, como les dije, es un canal bilingüe en el cual vamos a recibir diferentes personas de todos los lugares del mundo. Ella es de orígenes jamaiquinos, americana, y la hemos pasado fenomenal con ella. Muy bonito ha sido el programa el día de hoy. Le pregunté algunas cositas de Sudamérica. Me dijo que Brasil le encantó, que Argentina también le encantó mucho por el dinero. Después jugamos, el Perú también le gustó mucho. Después la comida del Perú le encantó. Después jugamos un juego que se llama el ping pong de palabras, en el cual yo le decía un país y le decía China y ella me respondía la Gran Muralla. Después me respondió diferentes cositas como de Chile, que me dijo detenida, que me sorprendí mucho porque en verdad en Chile estuvo un poquito, no pudo entrar a Chile por lo mismo que tuvo el problema de inmigraciones, de pasaporte por el COVID. En el COVID ahora necesitas un pasaporte para entrar a Chile. En su viaje último que cuando iba a ir a Chile. También fue al Perú, le encantó también que vio todas las banderas que parecían del Rainbow, la bandera del aspecto de la bandera colorida, que a veces se confunden con la bandera incaica, con la bandera de Pride, ¿no? Pero en fin, a todos nuestros amigos del chat se les agradece que hayan entrado. Agradezco mucho a Cristian por haber entrado, por la paciencia que ha tenido también. Agradezco mucho a él y también agradezco a todas las personas que han entrado al chat. Definitivamente. Y discúlpenme si es que no me pudieron entender todo el mensaje porque lo he hecho en inglés y en español. Y se acordarán de mí porque también el cambiar de inglés al español también a veces confunde, confunde a veces. No es tan... a veces es fácil, a veces es difícil, dependiendo, especialmente si estás haciendo una pregunta y pensándolo para el otro, es un poquito a veces complicado. Pero muchísimas gracias, amigos, por haber entrado al programa. Este fue un programa diferente, un programa muy original, yo pienso, porque pienso que mis invitados van a ser de diferentes lugares del mundo. Y recuerden que el inglés es el idioma, digamos, para comunicarse internacionalmente. Y vamos a tener invitados, muchos invitados, como les prometí hace mucho tiempo, el water sommelier, el sommelier de agua. Vamos a tener sommelier de agua. En un mes voy a entrevistar a un sommelier de agua, como les dije también. Voy a entrevistar a muchas personas, pero también que hablan inglés, ¿me entienden? Y voy a entrevistar a muchas personas muy, muy interesantes, ¿no? Y como vemos también el viaje de una mujer sola que va de viajes, que tuvo experiencias como por ejemplo en Sudáfrica. En Sudáfrica tuvo Sudáfrica, mira lo que pasó, le robaron en Sudáfrica, como ella nos contó, la robaron en Sudáfrica. Estoy diciendo unos highlights de lo que pasó en el chat. Le robaron en Sudáfrica, le encantó el origen etiopío porque me dice que la familia de ella, especialmente creo que de su familia, pertenece al Rastafari, al movimiento de la cultura Rastafari, y esta cultura se asemeja, eso es lo que me llamó la atención, escuchen, ¿no? Se asemeja mucho a los de Etiopía. Los de Etiopía y de Rastafari tienen algo similar, que tienen la cultura muy parecida. Y también ella, cuando yo le pregunté de Etiopía, y me dijo, beauty, hermosura. Me dijo eso, ¿no? Me dijo hermosura. Porque Etiopía, yo tengo varios amigos de Etiopía, les cuento que Etiopía me llama mucho la atención. Etiopía tiene una historia fenomenal. Y Etiopía, la gente es muy amable de Etiopía. Por aquí, todos los amigos de Etiopía que he tenido son muy buenas personas. Me han caído bien la mayoría de Etiopía. Bueno, en fin, tendré también algo de Etiopía en el futuro. En el futuro voy a entrevistar. Tengo una amistad de Etiopía, tendré también ahí. Pero me gustó la palabra que dijo beauty por Etiopía, que es algo muy bonito que haya dicho eso por Etiopía. También por Jamaica dijo cultura, en vez de familia, dijo culture. Cuando le pregunté Jamaica, ella dijo culture, cultura, más que familia. Porque eso es lo que te llevas como esencia, ¿no? Cuando tú te vas a otro país, cuando vives en otro país, tú llevas la cultura. También tienes la familia, por supuesto, pero tú tienes la cultura, que eso es lo que te da la familia, lo que te hace ser tú mismo. Y eso es lo bonito que ella nos dijo con esto, ¿no? Y imagínense, y también su último mensaje fue que incentiva el viaje. Dijo que sí, que ella quiere que viajen, que dice, mira, a pesar, vivimos en un mundo de COVID, ¿no? Pero ella dice, a pesar de todo, arriesguense, porque uno nunca sabe cuándo va a ser su último día. YOLO dijo eso, you only live once. Entonces, hay que animarse a viajar. A pesar de todo, en la vida va a pasar muchas cosas, pero si uno realmente quiere viajar, quiere hacer algo, hazlo, no lo pienses dos veces. Porque recuerda, los años pasan y uno nunca sabe si va a tener las mismas oportunidades el día de hoy o el día de mañana. Prácticamente fue lo que dijo ella. Una bonita conversación del día de hoy que tuve. Por supuesto que esto va a quedar vamos a tenerla de nuevo en el futuro, como también vamos a tener a la italiana, a muchas personas que he entrevistado en mi chat, que he podido lograr entrevistar. Y eso es lo que me ha dado mis viajes. Durante mis viajes he podido conocer diversas personas de diferentes tipos de pensamiento, diferentes idiomas, diferentes culturas. Y eso es lo que nos hace a nosotros ricos como personas, ¿no? Yo pienso que te hace más rico. Claro, tener dinero también es algo rico, pero también el ser más rico intelectualmente, ser más rico escuchando a la otra persona. Por ejemplo, hoy día aprendí que de Jamaica el origen Rastafari tiene origen de Etiopía, y también escuché que tener precauciones en Sudáfrica. Aprendí también que en Chile son un poquito restrictos con el pasaporte. Aprendí que también en Argentina eh, eh, cambiar el dinero te sale más a cuenta enviártelo. Y y también que ella participó, dice, en Argentina, fue modelo en Argentina prácticamente, porque dice que estaba modelando en Argentina, y estaba modelando en Argentina, dice, porque le estaban tomando fotografías y al final trabajó para una marca en Argentina. Pero este es el Instagram de ella, si alguien que lo quiere seguir a Spice Dura, este es su Instagram, para que todo el mundo lo pueda ver. Miren, ahí está por todo el mundo, pone las fotografías, está ella en todo el mundo. And advertising your Instagram if you're here still in the shot. So this is her Instagram. This is a picture when she was in Peru. See, she was in Peru in the Machu Picchu. So this is the picture that I took for the thumbnail. But she was in. Her name is Spice Dutra, and yeah, Spice Dutra in the shot. Gracias a todos nuestros amigos, definitivamente a todos nuestros amigos, gracias. Vamos a entrevistar a un agua sommelier de agua, un sommelier de agua. Definitivamente, gracias a todo el mundo por haber entrado al chat. Recomiendo a todo el mundo que sigan su Instagram de nuevo, Spice Dutra. Ahí está, mírenla. Síguenla, por favor. A todo el mundo les recomiendo, a todo el mundo. Muchísimas gracias más bien por haber entrado al programa. Más bien, muchísimas gracias por todo. Y estaremos hablando en el chat Estaremos hablando en un chat, en otro programa más adelante. Pero muchísimas gracias. Ahora lo voy a terminar en inglés. Muchísimas gracias a todo el mundo por entrar y no se olviden el like y suscribirte al programa porque este canal es internacional, señores y señores. Spice Dutres, you still listening? Thank you once again for accepting the invitation. For real, thank you, and for anybody that's watching in there, all the people that is watching right now. We live here on YouTube. Usually we live once a week. Um, I usually invite every 2 to 3 weeks. I invite somebody who, English speaking people. I invite them every 2 weeks usually, and mostly it's channels in Spanish as well. So that's why I was talking in Spanish a lot. And I'm sorry, guys. If I'm switching from English to Spanish, English to Spanish, and sometimes I get confused a little bit. But I appreciate it. Thanks everybody for being in the chat room. Thank you for following the channel. Thank you for being there, and stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to upload some videos in New York City when I was in New York. I'm going to put some videos when I was in New York City, and then I'm going to post videos too on my future travels to Italy. I'm going to Italy in the next month. The next month I'll be in Venice. I'll be in Venice the next month. So the next month I'll be uploading some videos in English going to Italy. And then I'll be uploading some videos in Mexico as well. I have a video in English from my last travel in Mexico, which it was a great experience actually going to Mexico as well. Well, thank you guys for stay there in this podcast, and I appreciate everybody. I appreciate every single one of you. Seriously. Thank you for everything. And remember, traveling is a beautiful experience. And remember what she said: you only live once. You only live once, and if you really want to do it, travel. Okay. Well, thank you guys for being in the channel once again. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Thank you. And Inkahustler is out.